One of the most popular actors ever, 7-time Oscar winner, Leonardo DiCaprio. But who is Leonardo DiCaprio behind the camera, and what is his life story? Early life. Leonardo DiCaprio was born in Los Angeles, California on November the 11th of 1974. He was named Leonardo because his then pregnant mother had been visiting a gallery in Italy when she first felt the baby move. And at that precise moment, she had been looking at a painting by Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci. But although his name was chosen in such a magical way, Hollywood was, typically, quite resistant to it. He was repeatedly advised that he should change his name because it was foreign sounding, and he was told that he needed to sound more American. They suggested Lenny Williams, and it turns out that was useless advice since Leonardo DiCaprio is now one of the biggest stars of all time, and he did it all in his own name. His parents were pretty bohemian, and although they split when he was only a year old, they lived in homes next door to each other so as to be able to raise him together. As he grew up, DiCaprio wanted to be either an actor or a marine biologist. He was a brilliant mimic, and as a small child, he enjoyed imitating people and impersonating characters from television and movies. So it would soon become clear that performing was the way to go. His acting career began early when he was only about 5 years old, as he appeared on the children's television series Romper Room, but apparently lost the job because he was a bit too disruptive. He went on to appear in a few bit parts in some television shows, including The New Lassie in 1990, as well as several different commercials, until 1991 when he would be cast in the hit sitcom Growing Pains. This gave him the experience he needed to take an audition along with 400 other children and get the part in a movie called This Boy's Life in 1993 alongside actor Robert De Niro and Ellen Barkin. The role won him huge critical acclaim and led to the beginning of his now legendary movie career. Career breakthrough. Because he was a child actor, Leonardo DiCaprio has been in front of the camera for most of his life. He's arguably one of the few major Hollywood stars that have made the transition so successfully. And while his breakout role was in This Boy's Life, the movie that put him on the map was What's Eating Gilbert Grape, where he played a developmentally disabled boy and brother to the title character who was played by Johnny Depp. For this role, he would be nominated for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. He missed out on both awards, but was now confirmed by Hollywood as a significant actor despite his young age. He played a few gritty roles in the early 90s in some independent films, like The Basketball Diaries, but the trajectory of his career as a teen idol and serious actor hit a new level when in 1996, he starred with Claire Danes in Baz Luhrmann's William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. This modern world-set version of the classic play catapulted DiCaprio's career into the stratosphere and was quickly followed up by director James Cameron's epic tragedy Titanic. DiCaprio was now internationally famous and part of one of the biggest grossing films that has ever been seen, Post-Titanic Years. After the enormous success of the mid-90s, DiCaprio was in such great demand that he could have chosen any role, but sought out more complex characters, not focusing on the huge blockbusters that he could have been part of. He was in a historic drama known as The Man in the Iron Mask, and then in a complete shift from that role, he then went on to a Woody Allen movie called Celebrity. The next movie he starred in was The Beach in 2000, and this was a weird movie about a man who was backpacking in Asia. It had a bit of a mixed reception, but was a fan favorite, and got him a nomination for a Teen Choice Award, but also won him the less than flattering Golden Raspberry for Worst Actor. You can't win them all. In 2002, he then worked with Steven Spielberg and Catch Me If You Can, a massively popular crime comedy biopic movie in which DiCaprio played the con artist Frank Abagnale Jr. and starred alongside Tom Hanks, one of my favorite movies of all time. In 2002, DiCaprio made his first collaboration with iconic director Martin Scorsese when he starred in Gangs of New York. This partnership would soon be followed up by The Aviator in 2004, The Departed in 2006, Shutter Island in 2010, and The Wolf of Wall Street in 2013. He then starred in Killers of the Flower Moon in 2023. DiCaprio and Scorsese have made a great team and have a huge respect and appreciation for each other, and many many of DiCaprio's greatest performances have been in Scorsese's films. DiCaprio has had highly acclaimed roles, some of them being Oscar-nominated. Other movies included Revolutionary Road, in which he starred again with his co-star from Titanic, Kate Winslet. This time, however, it was a disturbing story of a couple whose marriage is unraveling. He played a diamond smuggler in Blood Diamond, and that was highly praised, even for his South African accent. He then went on to an extremely challenging task of playing the infamous FBI director J. Edgar Hoover in a biopic directed by Clint Eastwood. In 2012, his part as a plantation owner in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained created one of the most evil on-screen villains in modern times. He worked with Baz Luhrmann once again on the lavish production of The Great Gatsby, where he played the title millionaire Jay Gatsby, and despite the film being underwhelmingly received, he was also praised across the board for his performance. The actor has also produced several environmental documentaries and another Tarantino collaboration in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 2019, where he starred alongside Brad Pitt. He's worked with everyone in the business and played so many different sorts of characters over the years. He has the pick of anything that he enjoys in Hollywood, but chooses to work with the directors that he admires, on projects that challenge him, and allows his enormous range of talent to shine through. Oscar win. When DiCaprio finally won his Best Actor Oscar in 2016, he had already previously received 5 nominations, but had never yet won. It was beginning to seem like a curse, or at least a little bit of a running joke. The role for which he finally won the Academy Award was that of a 19th century frontiersman named Hugh Glass in The Revenant. He had already collected the Best Actor Golden Globe and the BAFTA for that performance, so it seemed that it was finally DiCaprio's time. The movie is another of his extraordinary character studies. He has to survive in the wilderness after being left for dead. He took the role quite seriously, even preparing by sleeping in animal carcasses and eating raw bison liver in order to get into the character. And when he collected the award, he took the opportunity to speak about his other great passion, being the environment. He warned that climate change was the most urgent threat affecting our species. Personal life. Leonardo DiCaprio has tended to keep pretty quiet about his personal life, well, since the old days anyway. Back in the 1990s, he was part of a Hollywood group of men who had spent the decade partying and, well, enjoying the things that all massive fame and good looks and money can offer. They called themselves the somewhat quite cringy Pussy Posse, which included Tobey Maguire, David Blaine, Kevin Connolly, some other actors, and, of course, DiCaprio himself. They were famously debauched and, well, kind of immature, like a bunch of ridiculous frat boys. They got into fistfights, set off stink bombs, skipped the line wherever they went, had their bad behavior pictured in the tabloids, and acted like proper dirtbags. The name does say it all, though. They even made themselves membership cards like a bunch of dorks. Outside of these embarrassing 90s shenanigans, DiCaprio has kind of grown up. He's tried to keep his private life under wraps, but the trouble with being as famous as he is, for his entire life, is that everyone knows who you are and what you're up to. He was romantically involved with the Brazilian supermodel Gisele Bündchen between 1999 and 2005 and has been linked with a string of other models ever since. Aside from his social life, one thing that DiCaprio is passionate about outside of acting is environmentalism. He's been deeply interested in caring for the natural world ever since he was a child and set up the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation in 1998. This is a non-profit organization that's dedicated to environmental issues, supporting campaigns and other groups to make a difference for the future of the planet. DiCaprio himself has been quite active in environmental issues and has sat on the board for the International Fund for Animal Welfare and the World Wildlife Fund. He puts his money where his mouth is and regularly donates to charities in support of nature. His foundation has sent millions of dollars to initiatives that fight climate change, and he's pledged $43 million towards conservation projects in the Galapagos Islands. In addition to the environment, DiCaprio has shown his support for many other issues, donating to causes as wide-ranging as a computer center at a library, earthquake relief in Haiti, and gay rights. One of the most well-known and beloved actors of his generation, and with enormous talent and hard-working approach to filmmaking, Leonardo DiCaprio has shown time and again that he deserves his place at the top of the business. Who knows just where he might take us next? Make sure you subscribe to the channel because the next Life Behind the Camera is coming out very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.